Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the biggest changes happening in business, well, ever. And that's how generative AI is completely tearing up the old playbook for how companies make money from their data. So, let's get right into it.
You know the feeling, right? It's this paradox that pretty much every business leader is dealing with. Your company is cranking out more data than ever before. From every customer click, every supply chain move, every internal email, you name it. But for all that raw information, turning it into actual tangible value, that's still surprisingly tough. And listen, this isn't just a hunch. The numbers are crystal clear. A recent McKinsey survey found that data assets are the #1 most underused resource that companies have. I mean, look at this. A full 28% of executives say their data has massive commercial potential that's just, well, it's just sitting there, gathering digital dust.
So, what gives? Why are so many companies sitting on top of this digital gold mine, but, struggling to actually mine the gold? Let's dig into what's really going on here.
Okay, so a massive piece of the puzzle is this. The overwhelming majority of data isn't in nice, neat little spreadsheets. It's unstructured. We're talking about a messy mountain of emails, call center transcripts, product images, social media rants, all the human stuff. And your classic analytics tools, they just choke on it. They can't make heads or tails of that kind of information at scale.
And this right here is where generative AI completely changes the game. It's not just another piece of tech jargon to throw around. No, it's the missing link. It's the key that finally unlocks the value that's been trapped inside all that messy data.
And here's the absolute breakthrough. Gen AI doesn't just spit out another report or a prettier dashboard for you to stare at. It actually closes the loop. It takes the insights it uncovers and turns them into direct, automated actions right inside the tools you already use. It finally connects the dots between knowing something and actually doing something about it. That's the magic.
To really get your head around how this works, we're going to use a really powerful framework. It's called the DIKW pyramid. Think of it as a map that shows the journey from raw, useless facts all the way up to true, actionable wisdom. Let's look at how Gen AI basically gives companies a jetpack to scale this thing. So it's pretty simple. At the very bottom, you've got raw data, just facts and figures. You organize it, and boom, you get information, like a weekly sales report. Now you interpret that information to spot patterns, and you've got knowledge, like, hey, this product sells way better in the winter. But the absolute peak, wisdom, is applying that knowledge to make a smart, forward-thinking decision, like automatically kicking off a marketing campaign for that product right before the first cold snap.
Now, this is where Gen AI acts like a rocket booster for the whole pyramid. For years, companies got stuck. They'd hit a brick wall trying to get past the information stage because it was just too slow, too manual, too expensive. Gen AI just smashes right through that wall. It can automatically ingest and make sense of all that messy data at the bottom, and this is the crucial part, it automates the decision-making you need to reach wisdom at the top. Okay, that's the theory. But what does this actually look like when the rubber meets the road? Let's check out a killer example of this in practice from one of the biggest companies on the planet. Say hello to Scintilla. It's this platform Walmart built, and it's kind of genius. They decided to monetize their single greatest asset, their unbelievable ocean of shopper data. But instead of just keeping it all to themselves, they package this intelligence up and sell it as a service to their suppliers, helping them understand what customers really want like never before. And is it working? Yeah. In October 2024, Walmart announced a mind-blowing 173% year-over-year growth in customers for Scintilla. Just let that sink in. The number of suppliers paying for this service almost tripled in 1 year. That is what you call explosive demand.
And if that wasn't convincing enough, check out this number. It tells you everything about long-term value. Scintilla has a 100% renewal rate. Every single customer that tried it signed back on for at least 3 more years. That tells you this isn't some shiny object. It's delivering mission-critical value that these companies now feel they can't live without.
All right, so you're probably thinking, that's awesome for Walmart, but how could my company actually do something like this? Well, the good news is, by looking at what works, a pretty clear blueprint is starting to take shape. Let's walk through the 6 core pieces you need to get right. First up, strategy and product. You've got to ground your entire plan in what makes your data special. What's the unique insight you can offer that nobody else can? Second, go to market. This means you got to think about flexible, outcome-based pricing. Customers don't want to just pay for access anymore, they want to pay for results. And third, technology and data. The whole thing has to be built on a rock-solid, scalable, cloud-based stack. No excuses.
But, and this is a huge but, tech alone won't save you. This quote hits the nail on the head. If you don't build this thing with responsible AI practices from the ground up, you risk destroying the very trust your business depends on. Governance and ethics aren't a feature you add later. They have to be part of the foundation.
The last 3 pieces are all about your resources. People. You need to build teams that can basically speak 3 languages at once: tech, business, and product. Operations. This is about setting clear rules of the road. Who owns what, and what are the frameworks to manage it all responsibly? And finally, capital. You got to have a smart funding strategy that matches your investment level to how mature your product is, so you don't run out of gas just as you're about to take off. So if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. We are in the middle of a massive shift. In this new world, just having a lot of data isn't the winning hand anymore. Raw data is fast becoming a commodity. The real value, the new currency, is the ability to turn that data into automated, actionable intelligence. And that leaves us with one final, kind of wild thought to chew on. We're just at the very, very beginning of this. We're heading toward a future of autonomous AI agents. AIs that don't just recommend an action, but actually go out and do it. So what happens when entire marketplaces pop up where these agents are negotiating and trading insights with each other, all on their own? That's the next frontier, and believe me, it is coming way faster than you think.